Well, it's never a bad day here at Clear Detailing when we have a Porsche in the shop. Whether it's a Macan or something crazy like a GT3 RS, these cars truly pull at my heartstrings. 10 plus years ago when I started my detailing career, I was subcontracting details from a local Porsche and Audi store and absolutely fell in love with the brand Porsche. So much so that, as you guys can see, I have Porsche wall art up here. I just one day want to detail enough cars to have one of those 911s with one of those little GT3 badges sitting on the back of it. I think that would just be the business. But here we have a 2022 Porsche Boxster. Now this car is a very low mileage used vehicle. It is a one owner car, has 5,000 miles on it, and lived its life in Southern California. The second owner that contacted me to do the detail just brought it out here to Colorado, and it is going to get fully dialed in. So this is going to be a complete start to finish detail, doing full paint correction, ceramic coating the paint, trim, wheels, glass, roof, basically everything on this car we are doing. So I'm super excited for this one. Welcome back to another out of spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. Let's get this thing clean. Now, before we jump into this, let's walk around the car and see how everything's looking. Honestly, not a whole lot to report here other than the paint. This car is very, very clean. Now, of course, as I said, this is a 5,000 mile car that lived in sunny Southern California. Now, one thing I can tell you, of course, this car lived indoors, so lived in a garage. All the rubber seals look really nice, not a ton of water spots on it. Even the soft top up here looks quite good. Now, soft tops are very, very challenging, and that's actually one of the reasons this customer reached out to me, was her concern for the soft top. Now, this was a car she had searched quite literally for over a year to find the exact spec she wanted, and she finally found it. So she's really wanting to preserve this, keep it looking nice for years and years to come. Now, this is not a daily driver. She actually has a Macan T, which is absolutely awesome, a true Porsche enthusiast here for her daily driver. So this thing is really never gonna see rain, it's not gonna see snow. Are ceramic coatings overkill? I would say absolutely not. It's going to help keep the car clean while it's just sitting. It's going to take an easy rinse, get the bugs off when you take it off in the nice summer nights here in Colorado. So it'll be very, very good. Now, one of the other issues she was concerned about is the scratches in the paint. Now, the paint looks quite good here on camera. Definitely looks pretty decent in person. This is a very, very clean car, as I said before. But once you get into it, tons of swirl marks all over the headlights, all over the piano black plastic over here, all over the paint, the taillights, pretty much everywhere. So we're going to get that fixed. Now, the interesting thing with this particular car is when the car arrived here, it actually had an invoice in the vehicle saying that it had already been buffed and ceramic coated, or maybe just ceramic coated. Now, I will tell you, typically 9 times out of 10, when a car is done at a dealership, not always the greatest. Now, funny enough, I used to do that back in the day, get these cars dialed in when they were brand new from factory, put a ceramic coating on them, they can add a little markup there. But I was still spending 30 to 40 hours doing this same level of detail that I do here at the shop. So you may be able to find one or two across the country, but honestly, dealerships are tricky. They want to get the cars sold. They want them to look decent on the way you go. Let a professional detailer do it. Now, the last big concern she had was with the wheels. Porsche uses very soft brake pads, and as you can see, she's only driven this car about 100 miles. Look at the brake dust on there. So of course, we're going to be pulling these off, ceramic coating the barrels, all of the face of the wheels, and tidying up the suspension. Now, honestly, just looking through here, the suspension looks nearly perfect. I bet this car's seen 1 or 2 days of rain, maybe, in its entire life. So honestly, not dealing with a ton of dirt here. Main focus is getting the paint absolutely perfected, getting everything ceramic coated. So before I ramble on too much longer, let's get this thing washed up. I'm curious to see what this coating looks like once we get it rinsed down, get all the bugs off of it, and ready for paint correction. Now, a question I know a lot of you are going to have: how do you remove a ceramic coating to reinstall another? Honestly, no different than doing a car without. Ceramic coatings, you buff it. So essentially 9 times out of 10, unless it's a very, very crazy ceramic coating that you have to literally sand off, I know that's not going to be the case here. Take some compound, some polish, can quickly and easily remove it, but we're really after removing the coating and most importantly, the scratches. So we're going to get this washed down. It's going to move into the detail bay. I'll give you some before and after showing you the current condition of the paint, do some B-roll with that, and we'll get buffing on this bad boy. So let's jump into it. Quick wash up here, and man, I am glad we are getting a new coating on this. This is very telltale of what happens at dealerships. This may have been done, I don't know, a month ago, 6 months ago, whatever it may be. This coating would not last probably more than a year. I mean, at best. Let me show you some of the water behavior on it. So when you look at this, you go, okay, it's like beating up quite well. And then you start seeing some areas with some very not great water beating. So let me spray some water on here. First off, you can see like the taillight here is completely dry, beating up here. It's almost like it's coated in certain areas and other areas are starting to wear off. So let me show you this. So see how it beat it up really nice here, and then across this line and down into here it was kind of sheeting water. That is telltale of not a very good ceramic coating or a ceramic coating that is kind of on its way out. So let's look up here. See how it sheets water in areas and beads in others? Not a very, very good coating whatsoever. Up here, same thing. Like this area to me doesn't even look coated. Same with down here in these white painted vents. Doesn't beat up at all in there. So I can tell you that's not coated. So glad that we are getting this thing really dialed in. Same thing down here, like on the front bumper. None of these black plastic pieces are actually coated. So it's like they quickly slap something on here. And of course, you may be able to see what dealership that came from there. Yeah, wouldn't say this is the best ceramic coating. So I'm gonna get this dried down, start to get some B-roll from you guys, and start the paint correction. So let's give you guys a quick update here on the Boxster. Now we've got the full first step of paint correction done. So the compounding or cutting stage, as we talk about it a lot. Now the paint is looking substantially better. It's now a brighter white. Kind of crazy how much oxidization I actually pulled off of here. It's very hard to show on camera. I tried to get a few clips, but this thing is looking proper now. Now, a few things with this particular paint. I'm not exactly sure which white this is from Porsche. I've worked on quite a few Porsches now in my detailing career. This one had extremely hard paint. So when we talk about hard paint, that typically means that it doesn't scratch super easy, but when it does scratch, the scratches are deep. Now what that means for our paint correction is that we had to do a lot of compounding and some really abrasive heavy compounds, but it didn't really haze the paint much at all. So I personally really like working on kind of a medium paint. Soft paint has its own pros and cons to it. A good medium paint cuts quickly but refines out nice. This takes forever to cut, but our polishing is going to be literally probably 2 hours on the entire car. Honestly, it doesn't necessarily need a polish in most areas, but I always just polish them no matter what. Even if we're getting 0.1% more gloss on the car, it's just part of my process. So next steps now are to move the car out into the detail bay here. Now with this, we're going to be cleaning up the top here, getting everything off of it, getting it ready to be coated. Now also with this, we're going to be washing the entire vehicle. So all of this compound dust you may be able to see on here, that's why I do a second wash. And that's why in the first initial wash, I don't bother with the wheels. So the other step we're going to do with this is we're going to basically foam down the entire car, let it dwell, rinse it off. During that, we'll be cleaning up the top there. And then after we dry the car, we're gonna pull the wheels off, get the suspension dialed, get the wheels cleaned and ceramic coated. So that's up next. Let's get the Boxster pulled out and rinsed. Well, you guys just saw me do the final polish here on the Boxster, and it looks absolutely awesome. Thrilled with how this came out. Again, compounding. This is very hard paint, so it didn't really leave a ton of haze after the compounding session. Virtually none, like very, very hard to see. Now afterwards, just getting the final polish, I love doing this. It gets the paint prepped for the ceramic coating. So before we actually coat this, we're gonna do a quick wipe down, but the paint is absolutely glowing now. So as you can see here in the light, literally nothing in the paint. It looks unreal. I just love white paint.
It comes so glossy, the clarity in it, the crispness in it, it is truly awesome. So thrilled with how that went. Now up here, of course, you guys are gonna notice we have plastic on the soft top roof. Now what I did not film with this was actually protecting it. It was very windy outside. It was kind of a disaster to do this. I had to do it when I had to do it. So what I used on here was called ragtop. Now this is more of a sealant rather than a dedicated fabric ceramic coating. Now let me explain a little bit ragtop. So ragtop, a lot of OEMs actually recommend this for soft tops. Now I've been using it for probably 6-7 years. I don't do a ton of convertible vehicles, but we actually in my family used to have an Audi A5 convertible that was my mom's car, and we protected it with ragtop. Now during that time of my testing throughout the years, I used some ceramic coatings from CarPro, G-Technic, some other ones specifically made for fabric. Now my findings, especially with these convertible roofs, is they always made them sticky. And if you have a sticky roof, it attracts more dirt, it makes it look dirtier. So ragtop to me is a perfect in-between. It's not a super long-term protection, but it keeps the top looking absolutely beautiful, and I really, really love it. So the process is pretty straightforward to do it. All you essentially do is I take this clear plastic wrap and I wrap all of the glass in it, the whole body around the vehicle, take it outside, spray it down. Really, really smelly stuff. So you don't want to be doing this inside, but as you can see, nice and smooth and soft here, not sticky whatsoever. The top literally looks brand new. Funny enough, while the car was parked outside, I had someone who has a unit over here at the vaults, and he came up. He actually owns a Porsche Boxster, and he goes, "How many miles does this car have on it?" As he saw me doing the top, and I told him, and he goes, "It literally looks brand new. Mine looks terrible. It has looked terrible from day one." So very impressed with how this actually worked here. You'll see a little bit of dust here and there, very normal. So what I'll be doing is basically doing a quick wipe down on that before the car is done. Now, a few things left here, of course. So this is the last day of the detail. We need to get everything finished and protected. So of course, we're going to be ceramic coating the paint now. We're going to be doing Geon prep before that to make sure the coating has great adherence. Now we're going to be using Geon Infinite Base Type 1 on this. This is a certified pro level only ceramic coating. It is a 5-year warranted coating and one of my favorite coatings I've ever used in my 10+ years of detailing. So that'll be awesome to do. We're also going to be ceramic coating black plastic trim. So little areas like in here, around the mirrors, in the whole front trunk area, those all get coated with G-Technic C4 permanent trim restore, which is actually not permanent. It's really about a 2 to 3 year coating on the trim. Absolutely love this stuff though. And then we're gonna do finishing details. So you're gonna see all of that in the rest of this video today, throwing tire shine on the tires, dialing in the interior, getting windows dialed in, cleaning up door jambs. Now, an area that turned out absolutely unbelievably nice is suspension and wheels that you guys already saw me do. Wheels are completely coated. You could probably have dinner off of the wheels and suspension components in here. They are so darn clean, thrilled with how that came out. So let's get to coating here. Get this protected, and you're gonna see this thing totally done.
And just like that, we are finished up with the Boxster here. This thing came out absolutely amazing. I am thrilled with the results. So since I was last talking to you guys here, what we did, of course, we did the full ceramic coating on the paint, Geon Infinite Base Type 1. That again is a 5-year warranted ceramic coating. It's a professional only coating that applies very easily and looks unbelievable. So we're now in the phase where the coating does have to cure. 24 hours without rain, not gonna be a problem here. We have a beautiful Colorado sunny weekend ahead of us. Really, the coating will take a full 7 days to fully harden, get cured up, get everything dialed in. Now, you guys also saw me coat some other areas like the mirror trim here, all underneath the front trunk, even all of these little grills down here. It came out absolutely awesome. All those areas take quite a bit of time to do, but I gotta tell you, these are like the last finishing touches, the cherry on top. Even areas like here that are unbelievably hard to get in there and clean. You can't even see the grill back there. It's just a deep, dark madness now, and it looks amazing. Now, I also quickly cleaned up the wheels here. One problem I have with a lot of performance cars is that once you kind of wash the wheels up, the brake dust have some, or the brake rotors have this orange iron deposit dust. First time you hit the brakes, just moving it in and out just fills the entire wheel with dust. It's kind of a pain, so I was just cleaning all that up. We, of course, got the wheels torqued down, the tire shine on. I'm just absolutely thrilled with this thing. Other few areas that we worked on were, of course, the interior. Now, the interior honestly didn't need all that much, just a quick wipe down. This car just screams brand new vehicle. I mean, genuinely, I'm looking at it here, 5062 as far as mileage, so 5,000 miles on this, and you wouldn't even notice it. It looks absolutely brand new, factory fresh. I'm thrilled with it. The interior didn't really need anything. Genuinely, just a quick wipe down, vacuum. I'm very happy with that. So let me show you around a few other areas. And before we finish this completely off, I'm gonna give you guys some B-roll at the end here, but let's get this popped open. So all back here, just dialed in all the carpet. Again, this car just genuinely looks like it's factory fresh. It's crazy. All areas in here were not coated, but they are sealed with P&S bead maker. It just gives it a nice slick feel to it. All the door jambs as well. If I open up the passenger side door, all the little areas in here all get cleaned, all get a little bit of protection on them. It's just so awesome with how these things look once we're done. Now, the last area I want to show you on the car is the front trunk area. Now, this is the most amount of plastic that is on this particular car, and that is basically everything in here. And yes, I go through and hand coat all of this. It just makes the car so nice. Now, with Porsches and even Teslas alike, like my Model 3 back here, every single time you wash them, this area just pools up with stuff. All the dirt actually flies into here as well, which is the whole point of doing this. You don't want to rinse the car off and have just dirt sitting everywhere. This looks terrible. It's also a nice experience if you're using your front trunk here to have this, but can't believe how nice this little Boxster came out. So let me give you guys some B-roll, and I'm going to finish this one off. So thanks so much for watching another out of spec detailing video. If you're interested in having these services done to your car, reach out to me either at cleardetailing.com or click the link in the description below. That'll take you directly there. Fill out a contact submission and we can get your car absolutely dialed like this one. But we'll see you in the next one soon. Here's some B-roll.